All right, so this is gonna be a guide because the indicator has evolved a lot. Most of this is in other videos, but there's so many of them, and it's just hard to find all the information. So we're gonna put kind of like a guide to the indicator, the first light beacon in one video. So first of all, we need to install it, right? So this is it default, the way it comes. And I'm just gonna go over each function um down the list here in the settings first to make it easy, and then we'll go over some light practical uses on how to use it. So first of all, the vertical line at 30%. What is this for? Well, this is um based on a theory that if you're gonna get the move, you're gonna get it within the first 30% of the candle. So we know that here is the start of a 45-minute candle right here, right? So 30%, this line is gonna pop up, and it's basically a warning saying, hey, you've already missed the move more than likely. This is probably not gonna be where you're gonna want to take any signals for the rest of this candle. That's what that is for. Now, obviously, it's not 100% accurate, but it does work a lot of the time. And here's an example of it working right here. Right, so here's a new 45-minute candle. We get our we're getting our market structure built down and up right here. Here's green crossing back up over the zone. These are just wicks, but these are 1 minute candles, a little higher than I usually trade with, but we'll go with it. Now, this is our standard trade is 80 ticks, so it's right here, right? So we're putting our stop loss wherever we're putting it, and then we've already got our win. There's your win. There's your 80 ticks. Now, if you would have waited and got in past this line, you're not going to get the type of entries we're looking for. We're looking for no drawdown entries, right? And I just I just built it in there because the majority of the time, after 30% of a candle, the trade does not end up working the way I want it to work. And if you saw that, you got in entities, look at it, came down and smacked it. So for the times that it does work out past 30% is not worth the risk of it not working, because the majority of the time it does not. So that's what the vertical 30% line is for. And I'm going to disable that. Now, the doji zones. Well, what is a doji? Well, doji is an indecisive candle, right? So this is doing its best to detect these kinds of candles. And here's one right here. See, so how it draws this zone here. And it is telling you, hey, this is saying that this candle could turn around, or it could be an act of like resistance or support, and it shows the last three. So as price is moving, it will update when it detects another one. So if you see, here's one right here, and price busts through it. I don't know what it really does. Okay, so this one left this one that was up here, and it kept coming down. So yeah, using it on its own, no, but with other confluences, yeah, it does help. And if you look, you're seeing wicks into it right here, and um, see how this just wicked all of them. That was probably, who know, oh, that was right at 4 o'clock. But yeah, so that's what it does, is it just pulls up the doji zones, and you can change the time frame. So um, if you go to like a 15-minute, it's going to show the dojis for 15-minute candles, right? Let me turn off these DOR zones down here. We'll get to that in a minute, so you can see what's going on. So here's a 15-minute zone, um, or doji, and price came down, wicked it, came down, came back up, respected, and now it's going back up over it. So and you can do that on whatever time frame built in you want here. And if you want it higher, if you're a swing trader or something, I can add time frames into this. Just ask in the Discord. But yeah, so that is what that is for, and it does work really well. I use dojis on my other charts for confluences all the time for a lot of the entries that I get into. So it is really good to pay attention to that. That's why it exists in there. Now the squeeze zone. The squeeze zone is basically, and you can set these colors and whatever else you want so that it's not all right. It's not all ugly. You can change the squeeze zone colors. You can um, change the lines on it. But I do this right here. I get rid of the buy and sell line of the zones just to make things a little bit better. But basically, the theory behind a squeeze zone is if candles are inside of it, you're in consolidation, right? So if you look right here, candles are inside of this right here, so you're in consolidation. Um, and then when you see candles breaking out of it, it's kind of giving you just another set of confluences that hey, price is breaking out up or down or whatever. Because the last thing we want to do is be entering in confluence, or I'm sorry, in consolidation. So that's what that is for. And it's just showing you that price is being squeezed, right? And price is coming down. But so this is a 1 minute chart. I really don't like trading on 1 minutes. I like the definition of um, lower time frame candles, and I'll show you why. So here is the squeeze zone. The same thing that 1 minute did not show is we got a break out of the squeeze zone and a retest, and it drops down right here. See, so this would be a good entry to take off of the FLB. You're below it, so you're short. You're bearish, and it's breaking out of the squeeze zone at the same time. So here is 68 ticks. There's not a bad scalp. And then here's another one right here where it does the same thing. It breaks out, does a little retest of the first light beacon and the midline zone, and drops down. And there we go. So now we have, there's shit, it just keeps going over 100 ticks. This would definitely get our standard 80 tick trade. So that's what that is for and how to use it. You can change the color of it, whatever. And then what do we got here? Okay, so we have our session start and our trade mode. So our trade mode intraday controls this right here. I should probably move this above session start so that it's first. And I do have plans to organize this whole thing right here. So, but intraday is what you're going to want to be on to be able to use this setting. So the day open, New York, London, Asia, 10 to 10:30 or weekly. And we're going to go over each one of those real quick on what they are. So let's go to like a back to the 1 minute, and then we're going to turn on intraday day open zones. Okay, so here we go. So what that is the daily candle zone starting at 6 p.m. when the new daily candle forms. And it's going to run all day long and show you these levels and move until the next day. So every day at 6 p.m., it's going to start a new daily zone with the new daily candle. So the way you use this is like you can use the first light beacon with any of the zones, and I encourage you to take this information you're getting now and go play with it. Go back test it, change the settings around, and do things and see what makes sense to you, because what makes sense to me or someone else might not make sense to the next person, right? So I encourage you to go and play with the settings and see what you like and how it works for you. And then time frames and things like that. So basically, the daily candle, you break down. So the whole thing with the first light beacon is it's showing you the market structure and this and that. So this is down, up, and it breaks over the zone, and you use the zone to get into trades. So where I would trade this if I was just using this like the way it is I would enter on this pullback right here. So we had our market structure, right? And then it comes up and it pulls back and we get a wick respecting, and then it goes up. That's where I would get in onto a trade like that. And then this is where I would get in right here. Awesome. And we're going to go over alert functions in a little bit, but this right here can trigger an alert to let you know that price is smacked into the daily zone and for you to come look and see if you want to get into the trade. So here's another one. See, it comes and smacks it, and then you could buy. Comes in and smacks it, you could buy. Smacks it, you can buy. Smacks it, you can buy, right? Same thing here. And then here's US session. I can tell just because of how crazy it is. Everybody thinks US session is the best time to trade. It kind of is because of the volume, but if you're trying to get into trend trades, the US session typically doesn't really trend. Most of the time, trends are from low volume because there's not a lot of orders to stop price from moving, trying to find and seek orders. So that's why you get into a trend. The easy version of it. Now, this is the daily zone, and that's how it looks. We can go to this one, the New York zone. Now, what is this going to do? This is going to start creating the zone based off of the New York Open. And this is what it looks like today, which was super ugly, very hard to trade all of this right here. We did end up green today, but it was pretty fun. Um, and here you go. So right at US Open, you get the cross down, back up, retest zone, breakout. There's your buy. That was during US session. Now here is a US session start that just dumps, comes back up, retests, and dumps. And then you get another one. And again, you can set alerts to go off when it hits these things here, because what I turned off earlier was the buy and sell lines, and that's what triggers the alerts. So below red, sell, above buy, in the middle, don't do nothing. That's what the basics of this is. And we turn, because I don't like those on, but you can set alerts to trigger for those lines that trigger when price crosses. So this is the New York session zone right here, and it's basically turning the New York session into one big candle zone that you can trade off of support and resistance. Now we'll go to, okay, so the same thing for London. You turn it on to London if you're trading London. So here's the beginning of London, right? And it breaks out down, and you can get into trades using this as a resistance to get into that trade. And then here's the crossover during US session, breaks out and goes up. Okay, and then we have the same thing going on for Asia. So you can get into Asia, and it will create the zone for Asia, and you can do the same thing. Now the 10 to 1030, one of my favorite ones. This is if you're trading US session and you're the range break type of trader and you want to get out on the range break. This will help you do that. It starts the zone at 10, and it shows you the price action, or I'm sorry, the zone formation for the range break, and it will help you get into the range breaks. Now, what is the last one? Weekly. Yep. So the weekly zone is exactly what it is. It is the weekly candle zone, and it is going to form for the entire week. It's going to start on Sunday at 6 p.m. and it'll go until the next Sunday. Well, till Sunday at 6 p.m., but Friday when the market closes. And you can use it to get into trades. And now, if you're a swing trader, this is a really good zone for you to use. You can get into week-long trades if you're lucky, and it keeps going that way. But here's an example of that right here. This was a week, and it went up, 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 up the whole week, and then you just close the trade at the end of or on Friday or whatever. No, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. That is just Monday. So price action was so volatile that it actually looked like a whole new week. But that was just 1 week. So this is Friday, 6 p.m. And then here we go. This is I'm sorry, Sunday, 6 p.m. to Friday, 5 p.m. right here. So you could get into this weekly trade right here if you wanted to hold. So here's your crossover, cross back up, retest, and then you get into the trade. And you could hold this if you really wanted to. And these are nice trades. A couple thousand ticks right there. And that is those zones. Now we're going to go into the other trade mode, which is called scalping. And we're going to use scalping interval time frame to actually set the zones you want to use. My favorite is the 45-minute and the 15-minute. So every 45 minutes, this is giving you the zone for the 45-minute candle. And that's what it's doing. And there you go. And you can have the labels turned on or off for this being created right here. And you can also turn on previous labels for back testing if you want to just like, click a replay real quick or whatever you want to do. It's there. It's showing you every time one of the zones was formed, one of the new 45-minute candles was formed. And you can go from 15 seconds down to 1440, which I know is the same thing as a day candle. It's kind of pointless, but they are in minutes. So 2 hours is 120, 4 hours is 240, etc. And then alert interval for the new zone. So you can set alerts. So you put it on 45, right? And you come over here and you click this and you click on new scalping zone. And every 45 minutes or whatever, it will give you an alert. The point for that is, well, you can get alerts. And second, if you're using Renko or range calendar or something like that, the zones do not trigger on the exact second because of the way it's based on price. So it will give you alerts based on a Renko creation of the zone, if that's what you're wanting to do. So that's how you set the alert on which one you want. All right, and then we're gonna go into background. So we can turn the background. This is showing you like a trend, um, determination of trend and this and that. If it's black, then it's telling you that you're basically flatlined. Um, it is not 100% perfect, but again, nothing is. But it is really good um, when you're breaking into trends. It will show you that you're in the trend, and you can go down into like a 5 minute scalping zone here, and here you go. So, and then I would not be doing it on a 1 minute time frame for something like this. So we get into a 5 minute scalping zone like this right here, and basically what we would want to look for is there's your new zone. Are you green? Yes. Okay, let's check. Are we breaking out? Kinda. Maybe we should wait a second, but let's see. Okay, there's the cross, and there's a green cross. Okay, then we can buy and set our stop loss here, and then go for whatever take profit we're going to go for, right? And see if we hit it. I don't know if this is going to hit or not. But that gives you an entry into 5 minute scalping. And then you can also use it as a continuation for if you're going to stay in a trade, as long as you want to stay in a trade. Now, one way to do that is using this beacon line here, which is a linear regression basically. But the color of it is green, so you had no reason to even think about closing that trade for any reason whatsoever. If that thing starts turning red, then you would think about closing the trade. And that's how that works, and it also works as kind of like a moving trend line. Um, but yeah, and it's pretty accurate. So if you look here, see how you could scalp this up, and then you get red and you close, right? And you don't want to be buying if it's red, and you don't want to be selling if it's green. So yeah, so this right here obviously was a divergence, but that is the point behind the built-in background color on the First Light Beacon, and then there's some sensitivity settings where you can um, change it, and it'll take a little bit more to get it to change colors. And that's just another way to help you be confluence into trades, and or get confluence into trades, and help you out on that. And then you can change the colors of those backgrounds if you want to. Enable candle colors. So this is the thing right here. So you have three options on candle colors. This right here is these candles are based on the RSI. So if you are blue, it is a bullish RSI. If you're pink, it is a or purple, whatever. You can change the colors too, I believe. I think I put that in there. Yeah, I think you can. Yeah, you can change the colors. You can change all the colors. That is if you're the yellow or grayish or whatever, you're kind of like in a midline. You probably don't want to even be getting into that trade. Now this will help you get into trades. So here's a new 5 minute zone, flips down, beacon line turns green, right? And then you get a blue candle that opens and closes over the line. This was the initial way that I was trading using this thing, until I discovered more ways. I still discover things, and I built it. But that's just because I'm a curious person and I never stop backtesting. But yeah, you can get into this trade based on the candle color flipping blue, and then you're using your beacon line to hold this trade. And then if you get a red or whatever, this would have got you right here. But um, this probably wouldn't. I don't think this would have turned red until this candle closed. So you still would have made some money. But if you're going for the standard 80 ticks, here's your 80 ticks right here. If you're using 5 contracts, that's $2,000, right? If you're trading micros, that's if you're doing it the way we're doing it, this is $300. Yeah, that's how that works. If you're trading it the way we're doing it with the 80 tick method, this is $600 with two minis. So these trades, and how long did that take? 15 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Um, 4 or 5 minutes, not even under 5 minutes. Obviously, these are 5 minute zones. So it's these setups um are easy to get into, and they're high probability setups. So this is really helping, and this is where people are starting to really understand how the indicator is really pushing this stuff for them. And then here, I'll show this to you in real time. I'll show it to you in a replay. So we get a candle, flips up. Okay, not yet. Flips down, flips up. Okay, we're above the beacon line, right? We're above the green right here. That would be there. We're above the zone, so that means buys. The beacon line is green, and this turned blue. So that's why you would get into that trade. And you can go break even at any time, and you're good to go. So that is that candle color. Now, this candle color here is based on some proprietary stuff I'm not going to disclose, but it does work, and this is my favorite. This is what I use most days, and it's going to give you color based on trend. So if you go back into the background color, turning it on, and you match everything all together, you're more than likely about to have a really good trade. Just saying. But go to 10. There we go. But most of the time it does work out like right here. You can you get your green candles, you're breaking over the beacon line right here, right? If anybody knows anything about price action, this is a bullish order block that just printed right here on a 15-second chart. And that is awesome because you got green candles, green background, you're above the first light beacon, and you have a green beacon line. This sucker's going. And if you look, it really went, right? So if you've got the patience to sit around and wait for all of these confluences to line up, you're in a really good spot to make some good ticks, because this is over 600 ticks right here. And it happens all the time. Like, you'll catch these all the time. So that is one way to use that. And then the third uh, candle coloring is based on contraction expansion. So did I not? What did I do here? Oh, I deleted it. No, I didn't. What's going on? What's going on here? Oh, I turned them off. All right. So this is based on contraction and expansion. Colors again: purple, red going down, green going up. If the color is in the white, then it's, you don't want to do anything with it, right? So where does this play into? Like, I'm talking about entries. Like, this is okay once you're in the trade, but if you look at here again, you have your order block, whatever, but you get your new zone and you break up and this flips green. Expansion is happening, contraction is over, and it's going. And is it 100%? No, but it does work. It does work pretty well. I just use other methods for contraction expansion. I literally use this price action now, but this will help you get into those trades. And if you look, we get red candle right as this is starting to drop, so expansion is happening. Red first light beacon under the beacon itself. I'm sorry, the first light beacon zone underneath it. So we're bearish, and all this happens and it drops. And then purple means just it's gone. It's gone. Okay. And that's the color. That's the difference between the candle colors. That's just a personal preference. Which one do you want to use? I like this one the most. It gives me really good idea of what trend is, and if we flip trends. So a really good way to use this as well is you have your first light beacon, right? First light beacon, I'm sorry, the beacon line, and you got a green candle flipping up through a green first light beacon. Oh, here you go. Look, you probably just found the bottom. It needs to come up through it though, and it has to be green. You probably just found the bottom. So what is this equivalent to? Well, let me show you. Check this out. Boom. There you go. The trend line break, right? So that is what's cool about that one. That's why I like it the most. Okay, so zone fill color, that is the color. Let me turn off the background so we can see what's going on. Zone fill color is the color of the first light beacon. This is important if you're running multiple instances of the indicator, so you know which one's which, right? And this just turns it off. So you can just turn it off if you don't want to use it anymore. But I need to make it one button. I don't know why it's all those buttons. But the I was trying to do a fill just top and bottom and do a volume analysis inside of it, and it's not complete. So that's why. But you can change the colors and everything to whatever you want them to be, right? Midline color, that's the midline, so you can change it to whatever color you want the midline to be, and you can change the buy and sell color if you turn it on. And then this just kills the first light beacon or the beacon line if you don't want it. This is the beacon line color going up and going down and the thickness of it. Here's the candle coloring options. And then here is the DOR, what people ask and they don't understand. This is the daily opening range. This is from the beginning of the day. So 6 p.m. daily opening range. And if you look, price likes to respect it. It uses it. It goes through it. And it's a price that you don't really want to trade inside of. And it just gives you an idea of what is going on with price. Where did it start from and where do you think it's going? A lot of the times it will leave the DOR and go up to the next DOR. So you can use it as a overnight trade and you can get into it like this somehow using the first light beacon, finding a good entry, obviously. But then you can take profit at the next DOR that's above you, right? And then there's an overnight trade that got 736 ticks. And I have done this. I have live streamed it, and I do have videos that have trades winning it. So it does work. And that is the first light beacon in a nutshell. Now, how do we use multiple versions of the first light beacon? All right, so let me turn off all these label things because this is going to annoy us. So first of all, I'm going to go into candles and turn off DUR. So basically all we're going to do, so what zone do we want to start with? Well, okay, I don't know. Let's start with the daily zone. No, we'll go with the weekly, right? So go to intraday and weekly here, and we'll set that. Okay. So the yellow, we'll just say our yellow is. So then we're gonna install. First of all, I'm gonna go like this and click save as default at the bottom, so that I don't have to constantly keep going in and removing all the things I don't want right now. So first light beacon is the second one. Which one do I want it to be on? I want it to be on the daily, and we're gonna change it to, I don't know, red, just for the heck of it. So weekly is yellow and red is daily. Okay. So this is basically telling me that, well, this is kind of bearish, but we're consolidating because we're in between both of them. Right now, you get below both, you're in super trend down. You get above both, you're in super trend up. Right now, we're still not done installing more beacons though, because this is just giving us some confluences. We want to be able to enter trades, right? And so we're going into what's going on here? Oh, weekly. Okay. And we want a say we're trading New York. So we want a New York session. And we're going to change that one to green. So let's go with green. Okay, so all the yellow lines are driving me insane, right? So that's why I have the thing in there to change the midline. So the midline's yellow on that one, that's fine. And then this one, zone color is red. So we'll just change this to red because you can still see it, right? And then we can change this one to green, kind of green. And now we have different colors of different things so that nothing just looks the same. So how do you know you're going to be in some serious consolidation? You were inside of a major zone and look at what happened, right? So that day, like if you never break out of this, just consider yourself in consolidation. You can go into a range trade mode. So you can buy the lows and sell the highs, right? That is simple as that. But this is showing you, so we break down. Look at this is a perfect example. New York session, or this is why, wait a minute, what color did I make red? Someone remind me. That is the daily one. So let's go to, I want New York session. All right, here we go. So New York session. This right here is telling me, based on, before we even get into trading, that we should probably be either considering consolidation trading or only selling, because we're breaking down on the Asia session one here. We're below the weekly and we're breaking down below the daily, right? So I would be just looking for sells unless something changed. And there you go. You would get yourself in a good sell. And you only need one trade a day to become independently wealthy trading. Here's another one that I would look as a retracement trade, but I would probably start the day shorting. And if I hit my daily goal, I would be done. And so here's a short here. This is 245 ticks. Here's a short here. This is 360. I would definitely be done at the beginning of the day. So, and this is all just telling you, hey, we're going down, and this is what it looks like before the day even starts. What do you think is going to happen here? New York session opens up, right? What about the crosses, market structure? All right, the market moves in waves, so we get a cross down, cross up, cross down, cross up. What do you think is going to happen? Handles are red, beacon lines red. You're below three key major zones. You probably should just sell it when it gets to like right here or something. Um, Obviously we have ways of getting into trades, but that is the way that you can use multiple zones. So I encourage you again, go through the thing and just experiment, back test, um, see what you like. Now there is another way to get into trades, and I have plenty of videos of this. I don't even have the candles turned on. I turn the candles off, right? And this is how I do it. So I'm gonna put it the first light beacon on here 2 more times, right? And we're gonna go into scalping. The first one is gonna be 15 seconds, and we're gonna turn off the fills. So we only want the lines, and the midline is going to be white. Okay. And then we're gonna the lines turn off. The fills turn off. Yep, they sure did. And then we're going to, which one was that? Okay, and then we're gonna go to the second one, and we're going to go to scalping in 5 minutes, and we're gonna turn off the fills, and we're gonna turn the midline into something else that's easily can easily be seen. Okay, pink. There we go. That's fine. And then we're gonna go through the 931 since it's so close, and we're gonna go and we're gonna turn off the midline. We don't want to see it. We just want to see the 5 minute and the 15-second one. So okay, and there's our beacon line. So that works out. That works out for us right there. So how do we get into a trade like this? Okay, well we're gonna turn off the candles, and we're gonna use these lines. It's kind of like a moving average crossover, but way more accurate. So first of all, you want to be looking at all the zones. Well, what are you? You're underneath them all. Okay, or bearish, right? And then what you want to do is you want to wait for your 15-second, which is your white line here, to cross down through your 5 minute, which is the pink one here. You want to be green on your first light beacon when it happens. Now, we do have extensive videos on this. This is red, and this cross down. So see all these little edges here? These are the closes of the candles. So this is your entry right here. When this crossed down through, boom, your stop loss goes at the beacon line or above this white line, wherever you want to put it. And then we hold this trade until you hit your profit target, or if this crosses back up. If it crosses back up, we close. This is how you see those trades of me getting into the trade exactly at 9:30. This is what I'm doing when I do it. I am waiting for those crosses, and I'm entering in at the most volatile time the market can even exist in, right? So, example, if I was to take this trade here, I wouldn't know what the hell to do because we're in between. So I'm just considering we're consolidating, right? So I'm gonna wait. Here's the zone formation. I did it again. That is not New York session. That is daily candle. Okay, here's New York session. Here is, so I look at this and I say, okay, price is below daily, below weekly. I'm sorry, below daily and weekly. What are we doing? Like, where's the weekly? Where are you? Okay, it doesn't go far that back. I don't have data that far. So whatever. We're below the daily. We're below the other ones. We're below all these zones, right? And then the 930 rolls in right here, right? This is 930. And we're looking for beacon line to be red, and it is. Okay, so now we get a little spike up. The white one is 15-second candles. This pink one is 5-minute candles. So we're literally trading crossover candles. Okay, beacon line's green, so we're no go, right? We're already expecting to be bearish because we're below everything, and we're waiting for these conditions to be met. So what happens there? It's not below it. See that? It's not below. So we're looking for it to cross down. There is our sell right there. So we sell. Obviously, price is in a different spot than you think it is, right? So our beacon line up there, whatever, I'm putting it there. So we're gonna take this trade, and we're either gonna have a set to take profit, which would be our initial take profit, and then we have our runner, but I can't do this on this for some reason. So here's that right there. I'm just gonna keep going until this thing crosses back up. Just gonna show you. Okay, it crossed back. Or is that beacon line? That's the beacon line. That's not our 5 minute. Our 5 minute is um right here. So we're still good. Yep. So we're still good. That's a beacon line that it's near. It's not near. Okay, so now it's at the 5 minute, right? Let's see what it does. Does it cross up it or does it drop down? Technically you're supposed to close that. So we would close that. Now let's see. Does it cross down again? It crossed down again. So this would be another entry in this same dump, right? So we would get into it again. And there we go. And we're looking. Does not cross up. Does not cross up. Okay, it's just a retracement. We're good. We're good. We're good. Did it cross up? Let's see. Nope. We're still below, so we're still good. Nope, crossed up right there. So we would close this trade. Boom. So there you go. With 5 contracts at the beginning of US Open. And let's see, what's the time frame? In 10 minutes, you could make $9,750 by using this method. Okay. This is being utilized to build a bot and automate this. And this is how it's going to be entering and exiting. It is still being worked on. We got so much going on, but it eventually is going to roll out. But yeah, so that is how you can a guide on the First Light Beacon. And all of its functions, and then you have your styles where you can turn squeeze zone lines on and off 50%, and then bar colors, beacon line, whatever. Back, this is just your style lines. You can play with it. But yeah, so there's that. If you have any questions, put a comment and I will respond to them. All right, you guys have a good new year.